What is the main reason behind the fall of Ltte, and what are the mistakes committed by the Tamil Tigers? So we are all familiar with the Sri Lankan issue. So the Sinhala Buddhist majority is suppressing the Tamils right from the beginning, and most of the people believed on peaceful solution in beginning, and one sort of people believed on military solution. So the military solution led to the formation of Ltte, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, led by the captain Prabaharan. So in 1976 the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam was founded, and after that it had gained majority in the region, and staged a major operations and major attack. In 1983 the war started, civil war started, we are all know about it. But in this video we want to see about what are the reasons, what are the chronological events between the fall of Ltte. First we can see about whether Ltte is a political or a terror movement. So Ltte, we cannot place the Ltte in the place of Al Qaeda, ISIS, like those terrorist group, because Ltte is a form of political movement. But in some cases like Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, and in some incidents Ltte is made a terror attack. There is no compromise in it, but overall it seems to be a political event. But in some cases like Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, there is no compromise in it. So first we can see about how India helped Ltte. So India right from the beginning, during the civil war, India trained the Ltte, and India helped in major ways like supplying arms. But in 1987, after the Indian peacekeeping force IPKF went to Sri Lanka, so Ltte become troubled, and IPKF was attacked the Ltte during those days in 1987. After that Ltte turned towards India, and that's what the Rajiv Gandhi assassination is. And afterwards, after the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, Indian intelligence and the Indian government turned against the Ltte. So that was the major breakthrough, and that led to the major event. But after the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case also, Ltte has a strong base. In 1995 to 2002, Ltte remained undefeated by the Sri Lankan army, and the Sri Lankan army had severe repercussions, and they have Sri Lankan army faced a huge defeat between the years 1995 to 2002, between 7 years. And during that time the president was Chandrika Kumaratunga. So Chandrika Kumaratunga, they yearly offered a peace talks and to settle the dispute through peaceful means, but the Ltte captain Prabaharan was against it. So during the 7 years, during Kumaratunga's regime, there are many three events that occurred, that is the main events, and it gained the influence and the attraction over the international community. One is in 1999, during the election rally of Kumaratunga, Ltte made a suicide attack. During the suicide attack, Chandrika Kumaratunga lost her one eye and her vision. So this was the main event. And in 2000, in northern Jaffna district, there is a area called Elephant Pass. In Elephant Pass, around 40,000 Sri Lankan soldiers trapped and was trapped by the Ltte. So India mediated it, and they were set free. If the event occurred, it was a major event because 40,000 soldiers were killed by the guerrilla group. So that was the main headlines in those days. But the major the event was averted by the India's mediation. And in 2001, another biggest moment occurred in 2001 July. So Ltte made a suicide attack in the Colombo's International Airport, which led to the disastrous event, like the blast of 26 civil and military aircraft that gained attention all over the world. So all the events were occurred during those days. But the main event in geopolitics is in September 11, 2001. We all know about the Twin Tower attacks made by staged by the Al Qaeda and the Osama bin Laden. So this led to the Europe and other US and many countries to fight against any guerrilla group or any terror movements. So many were fighting against. So during those days, already US FBI put the Ltte in the list of terror group. So Ltte faced many events, but it was managed by the Prabaharan's political advisor Anton Balasingham. Anton Balasingham advised Prabaharan to halt the war. At last, Anton Balasingham compromised Prabaharan for peace talks. The peace talks was mediated by the Norway between Sri Lankan government and Ltte. But the ceasefire agreement didn't last further because in the mid 2003, after Prabhakaran once again want to take the arms, and they're fighting in mid 2003. But again and again, the Anton Balasingham insisted that the geopolitics circumstances was against the LTTE. So it was recorded by the Norwegian diplomat Erik Solheim. Erik Solheim also a member of LTTE. So he said that Anton Balasingham, he insisted consistently Prabhaharan to put down arms, to lay down arms, and to resist and to follow the ceasefire agreement, but Prabhaharan was against it. So after that, major events were occurred in Kumaratunga's government. There is a foreign minister called Lakshman Gadirgamar. So Lakshman Gadirgamar went to many countries and campaigned against the LTTE, and the submitted more evidence that LTTE was a terror group. So after Lakshman Gadirgaman came to Sri Lanka in 2005 LTTE assassinated. He was shot down by the LTTE. So after that, the many countries had imposed various sanctions, and mainly the Western countries will support LTTE. Switzerland, France, Norway, so and also Australia. In those countries, there were many Tamil diaspora. So the Western countries and government support LTTE. But after the shutdown of assassination of Lakshman Kadirgamar, many cut down their supplies and declared it as a terror event. So this was a major backfired the LTTE in the international community. And also in 2005 November, in Sri Lanka elections, Prabhakaran made a statement that the Tamil Eelam people should not go to elections, so should not participate in elections. So during that time, there were two major figures. One is the Ranil Wickremesinghe, today's incumbent prime minister, and also other is Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mahinda Rajapaksa, right from the beginning in election campaign, he told that when he came to power, he will suppress the movement of LTTE. But due to the Prabhaharan words to not participate in the election, the Ranil Wickremesinghe lost his votes. So in a margin, Mahinda Rajapaksa gained victory. So after Mahinda Rajapaksa gained victory, he is a hardliner against LTTE. So if Ranil Wickremesinghe won the election, there will be some alteration in the events. So in 2006 to 2009, the war occurred by Mahinda Rajapaksa. So this was the traumatic, this was a dangerous event occurred those days by the Mahinda Rajapaksa. If Ranil Wickremesinghe came to power, there might be some alteration or some solution to this issue. Many experts were believed in that. So this was the main mistake committed by the LTTE by not participating in the election. And also in 2006, the war started. LTTE attacked, assassinated the army chief. After in 2009, the LTTE movement came to an end. This was the main events occurred in LTTE and LTTE history, and this was the main mistake committed by the LTTE, because if Anton Balasingham's words were took by the Prabhaharan, and when he followed it, there might be some sort of solution, not a permanent solution, but some sort of something will be achieved if Anton Balasingham words were followed. But there is no compromise on it. So this was the main event and problems faced by LTTE. Thank you.